His movie has won 42 awards around the world and been nominated for 45 others, including an Oscar. Today we have a very special guest with us on 60 Minutes. We have writer and director of the movie Wild Tales, Damien Cifron.
Fílmame esto, Néstor.
¿Qué violencia? A ver. Yo estoy describiendo una realidad. ¿No? ¿Dónde está la violencia?
So joining us today, we have Damien Cifron of Argentina. How are you doing today, Damien?
Pretty good, man. Just sipping on a little mate right now. You know, starting my day off pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Very intrigued to get this interview going.
Oh man, glad to hear it. Fire away, let's see.
So what gave you the ideas for these 6 stories? They all seem pretty dark and yet comical at the same time.
Well, to be honest, these stories shouldn't be taken lightly at heart. Even though they aren't true stories that I've seen happen or that have happened, you know, it does show some of the deeper corruptions within Argentina.
Is there any story in this film that you can relate to a past experience and want to go further in depth on?
Yes, of course. Though these stories could happen in real life, the story that is most relevant to me personally would have to be the one about the 2 drivers where they get into, you know, confrontation once one of them has the flat tire. You know, I can really relate that to myself because, you know, Argentina drivers, they're the worst. You know, I could see myself being the guy more in the little beater car, just, you know, taking his time, enjoying his drive, while some asshole of a driver can come by and just start honking at you for no reason when you're doing absolutely nothing wrong. I don't know, it just infuriates me that, you know, what could happen if, you know, like, if he did end up down the road, you know, with a flat tire, like, what would I do, you know, and what would happen?
So you've never actually urinated or defecated on a car before?
No, not quite, unfortunately. But I've had thoughts of wanting to do that to some bad drivers out there, so, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already an actual story. Another story in the film that I can relate to is the engineer who keeps getting his car towed. I've gotten my car towed multiple times in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and it's not a joke when it comes to, like, you know, them not painting the curbs. It's truly like a bad thing that does happen, and it's pretty messed up. They still tow you anyways, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You know, they're a business, and their goal in a way is to kind of just rob you on your money because, you know, that's how they get paid, you know. There's nothing really we can do about it.
That seems so unfair. Is this story inspired from something you haven't done, but stopped and thought, man, next time they tow me, I'll just bomb the impound lot?
I mean, yes and no. I actually remember one time when my dad's friend came over to our house when I was a younger kid. He was ranting and raving about how he just, you know, got his car towed, and, you know, he was pissed and, you know, furious with, you know, how the whole system is, and jokingly he said, you know, the next time my car gets towed, there's gonna be a bomb in there, and I'm gonna set it off at the parking lot for all the towed cars, you know. But you know, so I guess the story came from that, but trust me, I've always had the idea in my head once or twice, not gonna lie.
So most of these stories, are they made up, or are they traced back to recent stories in Argentina history that you drew these from?
No, they're actually all fiction. Honestly, I tried to write these stories in a way that not only Argentines can relate to, but as well as other parts of the world. These stories, you know, they can happen anywhere at any time, and certain characteristics about them are what make them so far out there, but, you know, at the same time, that's what inspired me to name, you know, the film Wild Tales or Relatos Salvajes.
That's really interesting. Is there a final message or something you'd like to leave with your audience? What would that be?
I would say in the end, you know, there's corruption everywhere in the world, and whatever you can do to change it, whether it be the littlest or biggest thing, As long as you are living, your life to the fullest and you're getting the most out of it, it's really good because you never know when you can end up in your own wild tale.
So again, we had Damien Stiffer on today. Thanks again, Damien, for taking your time and
No problem,
letting us
man.
know a little more about Wild Tales.
Yeah, thank you, man, for having me on.
Definitely.